Gardening and growing your own vegetables at home has no shortage of speed bumps and possible setbacks. But there's few things that can put the hurt on our crops more than heat stress and drought.
Make no mistake, the real warm weather is on the way, and we need to be prepared if our plants are going to be tip-top and ready.
Plants let us know that they're under stress from heat and lack of moisture by wilting and flagging. The issue, like it is with us, is that once the plants are thirsty for water that isn't there, it's already too late. Now, they can and do bounce back, yes, but tempt this too many times and you run the risk of a poor harvest, or worse, losing the plants altogether. We need a strategy.
So today, I got 6 essential drought and heat stress tips to help you get through summer. 6 strategies to keep your plants looking green, lush, and performing their best.
Watering your plants and crops is a huge part of gardening. It's up there with planting itself. How and when we water has a bigger effect on our success with these plants more than you think.
Which brings us to our first tip, and that's to water exclusively in the morning. If we want the water that we use on our crops to be the most effective, then we need to water before the heat of the day hits.
Not only will evaporation be significantly less in the cooler hours of the morning, but we'll also be fortifying our plants to be able to take on the heat of the day. This is the definition of setting them up for success.
How and how much we water is also a huge strategy when combating drought. As always, deeper and longer is better.
I know it's tempting to water the plants every day, giving them a light sprinkle, making it feel like you're doing something. The ground and the plants look refreshed. Surely they have all the moisture that they could possibly need. Wrong.
Thorough and deep watering of the soil directly is the only way to combat drought successfully. And it's not just about available moisture for the plants. It's about changing the way they grow.
Shallow and frequent waterings trains our plants' roots to hang out near the surface to obtain their moisture. They don't develop that deep, resilient root system that's gonna see them through the hard times. By watering them every day like this, ironically, they become more susceptible to drought. Timing is a big one, but proper watering is even more important.
Next, all that watering means absolutely nothing if we don't mulch. Bare soil evaporates moisture like nobody's business.
We need to cover our garden's soil so that the moisture sticks around long enough for the plants to use it. The mulch layer is going to protect from excessive heat as well as prevent evaporation and keep the soil underneath moist and cool. Straw, grass, leaves, whatever organic matter you have, lay it on thick. It's no understatement that a layer of mulch is going to make all the difference in the world, not just for moisture control, but also to mitigate those extreme temperatures. It goes without saying that keeping your soil cool and moist is the number one way to fight heat and drought.
What your soil is made from and what it's comprised of can also help to combat future heat and future drought.
Sandy soils drain too fast and they don't hold onto the moisture for long enough, while clay soils don't drain at all and the water just sits on the surface and runs off. Neither option is very helpful to our plants. Combined, known as a loam, is better, yes, but the real star of moisture retention is organic matter. Only organic matter has the ability to lock down moisture during drought and excessive heat, keeping our plants cool and hydrated. Amending your soils with compost is great for this, because it's pretty much just pure organics. It'll act as a sponge and keep the moisture right where the plants need it, at the roots.
One drought strategy that's not entirely obvious right away is to weed. Weeding is crucial during times of heat stress and drought because a weed's number one job is to steal and compete for resources.
Namely, moisture. If there's a finite amount of water available in your soil, which there tends to be during heat waves and drought, losing any percentage of that to competing weeds is not good. It could be the difference between your crops living and not. We should always be weeding diligently, but especially leading up to the warm season.
Lastly, and this one must be done well in advance, is to simply choose the right crops for the right season.
Heat and drought-sensitive crops should be avoided as we head into summer. Yes, crops like our melons and peppers will need the other 5 strategies, as growing during summer cannot be avoided. But things like spinach and the lettuces can most certainly be planted to avoid those truly hot months. Sweet potatoes, corn, peppers, and melons, all crops that absolutely love the heat. Yes, they still need moisture, and yes, we'll still need to apply those other strategies. But growing them instead of drought and heat-sensitive crops will feel less like an uphill battle and make summer growing much more enjoyable and much more successful.
Speaking of uphill battles and success, that was a lot of information. Useful and timely, yes, but still a lot. Let's go ahead and recap the main points to make sure that they all make sense.
Few stresses can take out and damage our crops like excessive heat and drought. Plants are literally built and run on water, and when that's put in jeopardy, so is the plant. As vegetable growers, though, summer is our time to shine, and to maximize our production, we need our crops to be able to beat the heat. Combating heat and drought means maximizing water retention and efficiency, all while minimizing the stress to our plants.
Hopefully, by using the 6 strategies that we covered here today, the heat this summer is a little more tolerable, both for you and your plants. As always, guys, happy growing, and I'll see you in the next one.